Mm, mm, mm. All right. All right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom. Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely, lovely morning in which the Most High Yah has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I'm coming with a message regarding suicide. Suicide is a very powerful but yet scary word. It's a word that really defines human beings in a way. Uh, we all have gone there, even though we might not have known it, but we have. We've gone to a place here where our thoughts were tempted. Okay. And some of them, some thoughts wasn't that it was tempted, it was a thought. Okay. And I'm going to go into a lot of ways of how one has entered into those thoughts of suicide but never called it suicide, or thoughts of suicide, or tempt suicide. Tempt is different than the thoughts, but the thoughts is what I want to show you in the biblical book, in the King James Bible, and how it gives you the example of Yeshua going to the mountaintop. And I want you to understand the mountaintop is where this can lead you. Your thoughts, okay, can lead you. That's the mountaintop, baby. The mountaintop ain't the top of a real mountain. Mm-mm. It's the issues of life themselves, the cares of life, the burdens, the sorrow can take you there. So it's not so much as when we hear about suicide, those are people who had no other way out but to end what they thought. Going back here, they thought was the end of them. It's all due to the thought pattern here in the flesh, only in the flesh. That's why people don't understand your flesh is your worst enemy. Mhm. Because it can use, let me get this here right because it's all over the place and I can't tell which side I'm on. But that's the thoughts of the mind. Okay, so that's why your mind is a powerful tool. It can be used with you, but it can definitely go up against you. Your own mind. hmm Your own mind can go up against you. That's why it says you are your own worst enemy, because your own mind is your greater enemy than anything. Why you thinking the world is, and you thinking your neighbors or your job or this place over here or your family, baby. When you search yourself, there's a lot of things within you need to search, because you'll find a lot of things. It's what you are. It's not so much as what everybody else is. It's who you are. And I think it's so important. That's why he said, get the beam out of your eye. But I love that when he said that, when not when he said, but when it is said in the way that they said, get the beam out of your eye. See, I take it a little further into the spirit realm, and Yah is saying, once you can see the sin within you, Deborah, and you get it out, but you got to get it out. You can't just see it, Deborah. You got to get that sin out. And once you get that out, you can tell somebody something. You can tell somebody something. You see, a lot of people are talking to people and telling people this and that and this and that, and they are loaded. I mean, like loaded with sin. But they don't feel that they have to answer to their sin, because they feel that you are their answer. Why? Why would the individuals on these platforms believe that you are their cover up for their sin, because they feel that now I'm special, I'm famous. Oh, they love me, they like me, they subscribe to me, they support me, so I'm good. Now I can tell them something. That's why this is the devil platform, for sure, because it don't allow people to search themselves and get that enemy out of themselves. You see what I'm saying? Or to search themselves to get all that darkness out. That's why you got a lot of churches on every corner. You got all these Roman Catholic churches, cathedrals. I think I'm pronouncing it right, but you get it. All over the world. And there's nobody in these places, these big old gigantic, what they call church. Beautiful. I did I didn't do it, but I did listen to this young guy. He couldn't have been no more than 23. He was so frustrated, but he found a way that he can heal that frustration that was in him by accepting that it's much, not only he didn't know, but the world don't know, because he was trying to graft how could those cathedrals, or whatever you call them, these big old beautiful windows and big old beautiful places that still standing today. You don't see none of them. They don't destroy the Roman Catholics big churches, even if they are in the community of darkness. They still remain there because they know that they are darkness. They come from darkness. But what he was concerned about, he couldn't understand the year in which these churches are built, or years they didn't even have the type of machines to build. And in him, he said something ain't right with that, and nobody won't. And baby, it's a lot of things ain't right. But when you go to that bosom of he that has everything written, he will lay that thing out. But when you go to him, you got to go to him like he all that answer, like he is the I am. You can't go to him half-cocked, thinking you're going to try to tell him something, or thinking like they did when they was tempting Yeshua, like he didn't know they was tempting him. He knew what was going on. Well, that's how the Father is. You can't go up and roar up on him or come up on him thinking you coming up on him to be conniving, cunning. No, you ain't gonna get far like that. But this young man, this young European young man, he was just fierce. I mean, you can tell in him, he wanted to know what is going on. And he did an in-depth study all over the world. He got the pictures of these churches. He got the years, the history of them, telling you all about them. Oh man, I'm sure he got which pope entered in to these cathedrals. I don't know, cathedrals. I might be saying, I know I'm saying it wrong, but he was saying that something wrong because the machines that we had couldn't have built this back in the year it was built. So how did it? That's why I say, but people really don't get the power of he that's the I am. He's the I am for real. I'm not worried about who built the pyramids over in Egypt. Why? Why is this sister here not caught up from the floor up about who built the pyramid? When I already know he that sits on the throne is the I am. And when he's the I am, he do whatever he wanna, how he wanna, even if it's for the darkness, even if it's for the light, he's still the I am over it all. See, when you get to know him like that, then you know him. But when you want to half cock with him by giving him one side of the fence and you swing on the other, oh no, he don't go that route. That's not what he's about. He never was and never will, and you lost, not him. Okay, so I thought about that this morning, the young man, and just seeing the frustration in him in the way he did his studying. He's been doing it for years, not for years, for like a couple of years. He ain't no more than 24. He couldn't be no more than 23 to 25 years old. Probably ain't even that old. But he was wondering, how could these buildings be still sitting up so beautiful today? They all have been our communities sitting there, ain't never been used in probably 50, 60, 70 years, but yet they still sitting there. See, there's a lot of things that we as human beings pay no attention to, or is unconcerned, or And that's why we are at a level where y'all ain't letting us go nowhere with him. He let us go with us, which is our flesh. Go with what you believe. Okay? Go with what you understand. Go with your wisdom, your knowledge. But get away from me, because I ain't coming to give you no mystery of what you're trying to come to the knowledge to understand. And that's what I was thinking about this European young man who's doing his study. And he frustrated. He said, "Oh, don't make any sense," because when you're saying 150, 200 years, it's impossible, because back then these church, they didn't have the how would I say it, the equipment. They didn't. They really didn't. But see, what happens is in the end days, the spiritual knowledge is going to be poured out onto individuals. But it's not just because the spiritual knowledge is poured out, it's not going to give them the fullness until they have understood themselves as who they are. You see, in a lot of people today, I sit back and watch males and females on these devil platforms starting new pages, and they booming, y'all. They coming up, and just not coming up. They've been up for about 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 2 months, and they booming beyond what Sister Deborah is. They booming in the flesh. They not booming in the spirit, baby. Or else they wouldn't be in numbers. You see? They going straight through the broad gate with their eyes wide open, looking at that dollar. Looking at them being famous and high and mighty. When the famous, you see all those who's supposed to be so famous, you see a lot of them falling down. A lot of them passing away. And then you got those on YouTube, Instagram, and all these platforms trying to be like the famous people in the world. That's who they think they are when they get on here. I could care less. I don't want to be a part of the world in any shape, form, or fashion. So I'm going to get to my topic, suicide. Suicide is a scary word, and it is actually very scary action, and it's very powerful. And I, as the prophetess in the wilderness, I want to take you there. I'm going to take you there in a way that you understand suicide is not something that you see, young people doing, or you see this person doing who depressed or distressed. No, baby, suicide. It is something that's real. Now, the biblical won't tell you it's suicide. You have to be in the spirit to understand where suicide come in play. And I'm going to take you there. Suicide is likened to a mountain. It's a mountain you go up. Because the issue that is tormenting you, first and foremost, as if you can't wake up tomorrow and it's gone, or would have hope that, okay, if I just wait, I might feel this way today, but if I just wait a week or two, I'll be different. No, they don't. That suicide is so heavy. It is a heavy mental state. And we all go to that mountain. People go to that mountain many ways. Or they in full denial. They're going to always be in full denial. They're going to always. Because when they think that they have A to Z and they don't need nobody, and I don't have to hear this, I don't have to listen to this, I don't have to believe in this, that's on you. Because a lot of times what people have, it triggers their mind to think, oh, that can't be me. I don't go there. And then you yourself hear about all these here famous people, wealthy people taking their lives. A lot of times they don't even tell you that's what happened to them, because they don't want them to go out listed as suicide. But a lot of them do. A lot of them be in this life, in this living, and they see it's dark and it's no way out, y'all. See, people who commit suicide, they see the darkness, you guys. The darkness is weighing on them. They don't even have a pin needle of light. That means a little hope, a little light to, do you know a pin needle of spiritual light can defeat a million years of darkness. Do y'all understand that? That pin needle of light is a pin needle of hope. And the darkness with a pin needle of hope, the darkness can't stand a chance. That's why Sister Deborah said, even if you got a pin needle of light, because that pin needle of light keeps that darkness from defeating you. Oh, yes. Wait a minute now. I ain't going all the way. I'm 99.9, but I ain't going to that other 1%. Because that might be, Satan knows it too. That person could be 99.9 in darkness, but have 1% light. Darkness still got to buckle up and stand down. That's how powerful the light of the Most High Yah is. That's why he said you can stand up upon the hill and the whole world will recognize that you are the light. You see? So I want to go into suicide because I want you to understand we all go there. Sister Deborah go there, have been there many a times. And you know what? I'm going to tell you what I have done. When I have entered into a thought of suicide, it's always with Yah. Mine is always with Yah. I'm always saying when Father, look like it ain't gonna get no better. You say it's gonna get worse. Let's just can you just end it? Can it just end right here? And then that feeling of him just ending it would be greater than him continuing the world. That's me. That's what I'm looking at. I'm like, it's better, Father. I'm always trying to bring him into it. But one way I did bring the Father 100% into it because I was trying to understand what is this that causes a person to believe that this is it. I got to end it. Tomorrow is not going to be no sun. It's not going to be no brighter day. It's not going to be anything. Today, I got to end it. I even wanted to come up with pillows, but I wanted to do something very spiritual with the pillows. And that was to create pillows. And on the main part, it would say, keep still and know that Yah. No, it wasn't. Keep still and know that I will make some for God, because that's for those who believe in God and know about Yah. And that's another thing I'm going to have to talk about. Keep still and know that Yah has another day for you, because you have to put something to outbeat where they at. And in them, there's no other day can override what they're feeling at that moment. So you got to get them to the next day. And every time they look at this pillow, they can say, I can go to a next day. Why? Because I thought, and this is Sister Deborah, this is about 4 years. I started on it 4 years ago. I wanted to make pillows. I wanted them to be spiritual pillows for many who goes to that edge of suicide. Edge of suicide is only here in the flesh. That's how horrible our flesh is. Our flesh always want to take us out. Always. Even though you don't believe that, who cares? I'm telling you. Your flesh is your worstest enemy, not your bestest friend. Okay. And it wants to do the things to you opposite of what your spirit desire. Okay. So I started on it 4 years ago, and I thought it was a beautiful thing because I wanted it to be something beyond just something natural that you get and you have and you purchase it. I wanted the colors to be something you look at and remember, even when you're not even at home and feel like you're in the car. You can think of that pillow, you see, and what that pillow said. See, it was my idea of suicide. Sister Deborah, can say that because my son went to that edge of suicide. A lot of you all don't understand, and that's why I say I don't allow men and these so-called leaders in the church, these men who want to be kings, rulers, and leaders, they have no spirit and truth in them, y'all. They have no ruach of the Most High in them that's leading them. So therefore, I cannot listen to them. But I tell you what I will listen to: the testimonies of my own life that Yah has suffered me to go through, to know. When I told y'all that, when I tell y'all about the children, or the bloodline of the father, the lineage, the ways, and so on, y'all, let me tell you something. The thing is so hardcore, it is off the chain. And you know what I realized? I realized that it is the Father's will that they never come to that understanding. I realized that. I realized that, Deborah, you can put it here, you can put it there, you can make a newspaper, you can write a book, and books, you can break it down, you can pull it up, you can do it, put it in light, you can put it wherever you want to. But this is a powerful mystery on the earth. It is a powerful mystery. And this mystery alone will allow you to understand why things are the way that they are. And because that mighty mystery that I try to instill, when a lot of times they thought, and they can think the way they flesh desire. A lot of them thought, oh, she's going up against me, and she always fucking negative men. Well, baby. If I sit there and told them that Yah created them first for a reason, that right there should, wait a minute, let me hear what this old hen is talking about. We first. What reason will he create us first when he spoke us together? So why did he create me separate when he spoke us together? Let's dig into that. They won't, and they're not going to, because these are the things that Yah said in Revelation chapter 10. That his mystery is over. Only one holds it is the prophets, his servants. See, he's talking about not the prophets on YouTube and all these other platforms who said, I'm a prophet, I'm a prophetess. No, understand what he said. His servants. His servants ain't out there trying to convince the world. Okay? Because you can't convince the world. The world convince themselves. Okay, they have nothing to. They go to church Sunday and Wednesday and choir rehearsal, practice, everything, and they have no spirit and truth, no light in them. So you tell me what's what. That's why you see so many churches in your community on every corner, and most of them today have nobody in them. Okay, so it's not. It's the natural church, y'all. It's the fleshly church. See, that's how just he is. He get the flesh what it needs, and get the spirit what it needs. Okay, so when I sit and I see suicide, and I see that, hey, I experience it, but they put me and my husband out of the organization at the hospital. It's 44 parents, fathers and mothers. They meet up. They meet up once a month. We were only allowed to go to one meeting, and that was the first one because my son had attempted suicide and he was in a coma for almost a month. So we were going to the meeting for the first time, and you know how you go to an AAA meeting? They wanted to know a little bit about my son, and they wanted to know what happened. They wanted to know everything, but we was around a big old table, and we were the only no, it's another black couple, and there was Oriental couples. It was all of them around, and everybody gave their experience of what their child had done. And let me tell y'all, that night the parents was on one accord that my husband and I didn't have to come to the meetings no longer. That's what they said to us. And when we walked out of that meeting that night, we felt so good. We felt so good. Praise the Most High, y'all. They actually put us out. You know what they said to us? Each parent gave us their idea of what took place with my son. They explained that what my son did was something he did, but it wasn't something like their children has done. They tell me that their children been doing this since they was 3 and 4 and 5. What do your child get to drink and do things like that, burn up cats and all this old crazy stuff since they were that little? What's in the mind of a child? They would see, my son didn't have no history of that. Want me to tell you what he had a history of? Obeying his mother, doing what he's supposed to do. He didn't fight in school. He didn't argue. He was real. Y'all, let me tell you something. My son, oldest son, has a different father. This kid, what you call a straight A student, okay? This kid loved sports. He loved sports. This kid he had a heart that, this is my oldest son, he was so overly friendly. Even his granny and his pawpaw had to talk to him and said, Raymond, he said, but no. He said, Granny, but they my friends. He don't understand these kids are not your friend. But in him, everybody his friend. He didn't believe on, it was just some strange stuff. He didn't believe in having something and not sharing it or giving all that he had. This kid would go outside. I said, why are you taking those cookies outside? Mama, my friend's outside. You know, every time he felt he had to be a giver. And I know I'm like that, but I'm just going to take you to where this young man, this type of young man I had in this household. But I'm finna break down a little bit because the father said, don't give them people. You don't know the capacity of their mindset that's on your platform. You don't know. You might think you know them. You don't know them to the point their mindset don't understand your testimonies. That's what he's talking about. So when you hear me talk about a man and his children, that is one of the most powerful mysteries on the face of the earth. But what I never will understand, even till I'm in my grave, and to the Father see fit that I fully understand it outside of what he has given me so far. And I don't think there's any other understanding he want to give me outside of what he's given me, because he even gave a lot of people snippets in their study guide. It's the way I created it, Deborah. It's something that the children has invested in them from their father, because that's who they come from. But the world and men is in full rejection from the fact that the babies that they have spent time with and left and never saw and never done, those are you all over again. So whoever have to put up with what you left behind, you could have left monsters. And a lot of people don't believe. Men are leaving monsters behind. And when I say leaving monsters behind, I'm speaking of males and females. They're leaving them behind to deal with somebody who don't have the same bloodline as them. Because their wife is not your bloodline, bro. So therefore, she's going to be left with 2, 3, 1, 5 of who you are. Unless in that bloodline, y'all seeing the light. And the light will still have the father's ways, to the point of the walk, the talk, maybe the swag, even some of the ways that they may think. But one way that they don't have is that spirit belongs to Yah. So let's get to this suicide thing. So My son was that straight A student. Okay. And not only did I say to you all, he has allowed me to get to know the nakedness of my husband. He also allowed me to get to know the nakedness of just about everybody that has been in my life. Yeah. That's why I can't let him down like many people can. I can't just give up and just say that he ain't this, he ain't that. I got to give him all that glory. I got to give him all that honor and all that praise because he is my teacher. Just as Yeshua said, he will come and he will teach you all things. When I'm here as a living witness, he has done just that. So when you get down to suicide, a lot of the suicide is the battles of the father's family in them. A lot of it is. Let me break it down to y'all. Let me break it down to you. Now, watch this. When I was in high school, when I had my son, I was a senior in high school. And there, I was involved with his father, which his father was involved in a lot of drugs. Okay. More so, he always said he sold it, and that was pretty much it. But when my son was born 9 pounds. Okay, so the first thing, I couldn't birth the child that like that. So they messed him up so bad to where he had all these problems. They tore his head up. Let's put it like that. And when my son was born, uh, uh, they just told me he wasn't gonna live, and past 3 days, and uh, I need to sue the doctor and the hospital. Me, myself, even, oh, Father, when I think back, oh, Father, when I look back over my life, you all, when I look back over my life and I'm looking at that, I'm saying, wait a minute, Father. By this being the first grandchild, you had the whole, I'm just going to exaggerate about it. You have like the whole world at the hospital waiting for this first grandbaby of these people to be born. Oh, yeah. It was so many people at that hospital, all the way up until what, 6 that morning. All the people had to leave out. The hospital had to put them out. But my aunt came later and they told her she can stay. So she stayed for his birth. And when she saw him, first thing she thought about, well, he was so muscle, he was big, a big baby. But she said they had tore up his head so bad, his eyes and his head was bleeding. They had tore him up, trying to get him out instead of just giving me a C-section. They're trying to force him out, and they tore him up real bad. So Children's Hospital wanted me to sue the doctor at the big hospital, and also the OBGYN, the male, and he was a black male. I went down to the chapel. Now, let me tell you what, after that next day, here I am in the hospital alone. Children's Hospital, not doctors, 2 of them came over to talk to me from Children's Hospital because they had to take him immediately over to Children. And they came to talk to me, 2 doctors and 1 nurse, and they said that he's in critical condition and that he's not going to make it past 3 days, and how they told me how the doctor messed up this child, and you need to go to the head of OB. You know what I did when they left? I went down to the chapel. Now, y'all got to understand, I was 19. I was 18, going on 19. I went down to the chapel, and I went in there and I began to speak to the Most High. And I told him, I said, I want you to take this baby back. Because if you can't give him to me healthy and normal, take him back. If you can't restore him back healthy and normal, take him back. That was me speaking to a higher power. Y'all, I had always believed, with no doubt, even to today, that he's all that answer. So when I went down there, no, the Children's Hospital got angry with me because I didn't go to head OB. I don't want to sue nobody. I'm just showing y'all how also people's way of seeing money as all that and some to make them all that. Let me tell you something. Right here today, I could have been taken care of for the rest of my life. Do you think I went? And then when I went over there to see my baby at Children's Hospital, they gonna say, "Well, ma'am, you should have did this, and you should have go to Ohio head of OB on this doctor. Do you understand what he did to your son? Oh, your son gonna have this. Yeah, they had so many things that's gonna happen to my son in they said within 90 days, all these things, seizures. His head was so swollen, y'all. They said his head gonna continue to be swollen the rest of his life. Your son gonna have a water head. He's gonna be retarded. They said, these doctors said that. They were so angry because they wanted me to sue this doctor. They really wanted me to get him. And not only could I have sued the doctor, I could have sued the hospital. So you see where my mindset has always been since I was a little girl. Money has never made me. It can't break me, nor can it make me, because I got something inside of me greater than money itself. And I know that without a doubt. That's why I tell him 24/20, I can't. I'm nothing without you. I need you. I need you more than the definition of the word need, Father. I can't do without you. I won't do without you. I can't do without you. These are the things that I put before Yah all throughout the day. Do I have to? No, I don't. But that's how I see him, to be all that and worldly, to be exalted and praised in a way of being thankful. Even if I sit there and I tell him, I say, thank you for all the grace and mercy that you have given us all. I could say just me. No, because I'm measuring, I'm sitting here looking. All this grace and mercy he pouring out on everybody, and they can't see it. No, they can't see it. Because they in me, and we, and mine's. And wanting to be something that they have not been called to be. But most of them have. They've been called to the seed of the serpent. So this son is born. Now, let me explain to you. I'm just going to deal with him alone. We're going to deal with my oldest son alone. So I had to go to all kind of as far as now we're back to the suicide. I had to go to all kind of meetings with doctors, and I always realized I was sitting there alone. Everything that I went through, you guys, you see me where I'm sitting now. I sat with people, professionals, all kind of people alone. Were they alone? No. But when they saw me, I was alone. When they came, when the doctors from Children's Hospital and the nurse came to me when my baby was born to tell me to file a suit against toward the head of OB regarding the doctor in the hospital, who did they come to? When they came to my room, I was sitting there alone. When I went down to that chapel, I went alone. So if you think I'm crying and dying because you ain't on here, or you ain't who you want to be, or you ain't trying to show Sister Deborah anything, I've been in it alone, baby. I'm a live and die in it alone. But I tell you one thing, I have the I am. So that shows you I might be alone as it might appear in the flesh. But when that Ruach pull up, he'll show you this is mine. She ain't alone. She ain't never been alone. So let's go back to the suicide. Same situation. Everybody coming to see the first grandbaby, just like they did when he was born. Here they come to see the first grandbaby who attempted suicide. I was a bad mother. My dad said I did something because that's his grandbaby. That's their first grandbaby. That was my dad's heart. You see? And that was across the board on daddy's side and mama's side. And we're a large family. So everybody's trying to figure out, well, why would he do that? Why would he do that? But what y'all don't understand, praise the Most High Yah. Boy, right now I can show exalt the Most High Yah. And let me just do that, Father Yah. Woo, Father Yah, just thank you, Father Yah, for being all that you was and all that you have been and all that you're going to be, Father. Father, you the greatest. You that excellent one, Father, yeah. You that perfect one. You are that faithful one. You that kind one. Father, you that all power. Yeah, you the I am, Father, yeah. Father, you the beginning and the end. Oh, Father, you so perfect. Thank you for being who you are all by yourself, not needing nothing and nobody to make you that excellent one. Father, praise is what you're entitled to. Father, you need to be exalted. And forgive us for not exalting you and not giving you the glory and the honors that's due you, Father Yah. Thank you for my testimonies. Thank you for my long sufferings and my endurance, Father Yah. Each and every last one have drawn me closer to your bosom where I belong. And I just thank you for being who you are all by yourself and how you have proven yourself to your servant. I just give you glory and honor. Hallelujah. 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 I give you praise. Father, you're the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo, Father, y'all just thank you, thank you, thank you for being who you are all by yourself. Ooh, I love the idea of him all by himself. Then I don't have to give nobody the glory, the honor, the praise. I don't have to look for another to be able to be clarified, justified, and identify. Him himself is all I need. Father, yeah, thank you, Father, yeah. Thank you, Father, yeah. Thank you so much. Oh, Father, yeah. All this time being alone in the flesh, never being alone in the spirit. I give y'all praise and glory. We're talking about suicide. When I speak to you all, a lot of you all, like I always say that word, not all the time, you look at me cockeyed, not even understanding this woman can really tell me something. And I look back over my life and I think, all of it was for the mission of where I'm at today and what I'm saying today. So nobody can pull up and tell me anything different. Because I done walked in it. Now, I don't need nobody to tell me what they didn't heard someone else say. I'm that living testimony. So let's get with that suicide situation. So as he was in the hospital doing his, this is the same child that head was tore when he was born. Here he is at the age of 15. He getting ready to be a sophomore in high school, and he was chosen for a state organization called, it was some type of, it was called Art, the art, where the state pays for an art, someone who's over art come in to different schools to help enhance the ability of art. And because my son had the art in his hand. Now, my son art came from me and his dad. Both of us are good with art. We are really good with art. We both of us had that, his dad and I. And he comes up, and out of all the people in the school, they only select like 5 in the whole high school. He was selected in his junior high, and when he went to high school, it keeps on all the way up until he's even in college. They'll send someone in to continue to enhance his ability in art. It was beautiful, y'all. It's a paid program, okay, but they only choose only a few. I don't even consider a few when it's like 5 in the whole house, in the whole high school. When he was the first, he was one of the 5 in junior high, and he was also continue it in high school, which he said it wasn't 5. I think it was just 3 of them. But yes, he was selected for that. So this was a kid that had straight A's. Now let's go to his dad. Now his dad was a man that came up with his mother, and his dad wasn't in the house. Okay. His dad had 13 children by his mother, but he never married his mother, and he never supported his mother. Okay. But his mother had 13 children by this man. So he was one of the young one, the third one from the, no, he was the second one. No, he's the third one from the youngest. So he stayed in the projects. I met him in food service management, where I cooked for Lindell and Children's Hospital. At that time, I was very young, very young. I had been there for probably 4 years. And when he came in, uh, uh, he ended up getting hired there. And that's where I met him. He was much, 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 much older than I am. And we hit it off, but I was nothing. I was still in high school, but he wasn't. He was older than that. And I ended up getting pregnant. And when I had my son, that was the first grandbaby, the first on both sides, mom and my dad. It was just beautiful. I mean, you heard people from even out of town hearing the news. It was a big thing. They had this family had the baby, grandbaby. This kid had a birthday party, and if his aunt Jovan, she would see fit that we want to have him a party, and I'm saying, 2 years old, you can have him a party. Yeah, because we want to have some ponies. This is how she did it. This kid came in, embraced family. I mean, oh man, he was him. That was him. This kid came in. He was a straight A student, and I'm gonna mess y'all up because I shouldn't take you here, but you know what? In it all, I want to give y'all the glory and the honor, in spite of my testimonies and my trials, or whatever you want to call it. But I tell you what, when it all said and done, I am who he say that I am in him that rest in me. Praise the mighty God. So what happens? Now I'm here, and he's going through everything that he needs to go through. Why? Because I birthed this baby. So when I birthed him, I continued to pump breast milk so that he'll have plenty while he was in intensive care. And when he got out, they still had him in there for, what was it, 7 to 8 weeks. But I pumped breast milk for him. And even when he got out, I continued to breastfeed. But this was a straight A student, a very smart baby. And he had a whole lot of what you call abilities as he was coming up. And I believe that a lot of that came, I don't know if that came from me, because that's how I was. But he was a type of kid at, say, 7 and 8, he liked it to fix things and repair things. By the time he got in junior high, he loved me giving him a task, and he put something together. He was real good at it. So what? His grandparents was proud of him. They gave him everything. He had all them aunts and them uncles, and they gave him everything. And they were proud of him because he was smart, straight A student. He could put anything together. Humbled as humble can be. He just was the only grandbaby at that time. Then my other oldest sister finally had one, but he was their world on both sides, to his uncles and his aunts. Raymond. He was all that and some. So when he got to be 15, I began to see him before he was 15. Like at 12, I saw him staying up all night to where he couldn't sleep. He could not sleep. So therefore, I'm battling with him. I told him, you cut off the TV. He wasn't allowed to stay open. I was a very, I don't think I was strict. I don't even think he would tell you I was strict, but I was one that, hey, school is important. Can't stay up all night. But I also thought about me, how the minds was staying up all the time. I had to have either a radio on or something going on, but I was battling what Yah was preparing me for, even to this day, and that is Satan tormenting me, and he normally did it at night. Okay, so as that time, as he grew up and he ended up being 15, he tried out for the football and he made it. He made it to the what is it? You got the varsity and the not the varsity, but he made it to the other. I forgot what it is. Football team. So he made it, and when he made it, that summer he was going to school was out. He was going to begin his practice for football practice. And like I said, he had everything, y'all. He had everything. He had everything. And I remember going to Sam's and getting him this big old bump bed. It had, the twin. You all probably seen it. It had the twin, and then it had a full at the bottom. But the one Sam's had the ends of it would go like in a circle, like around. And it was made of that heavy iron. It was really heavy iron. And my son was excited about football practicing for the summer, during the summer, because he was selected. He made it to the football team, the B team, I think that's what they call it. But he was excited about it. But somewhere along the line, I didn't pay attention to very much of depression, that he had, or issues that he had as far as being depressed. I didn't pay any attention to that. But when I went to the classes after his suicide, like I told you, Charles and I was told we no longer need to come to the meetings, because when all the parents heard our story, they put their input in it. And then the head person that was sponsoring the program had something to say and said, yes, I agree with all the parents. You all situation is not like our situation. This is really not a meeting where you all can come to every month. It's good that you all came the first time, but you all situation is not like ours. And I heard some correct. I ain't never in my life thought that's the way European children are at such a young age. I'm like, I'm gonna tell y'all something. These demons get them at a young age and have their way. I was like, because it was 44 parents, meaning 44 sets, a mother and father. So it was just that big, the meeting, round circle. And majority of them, say 90% was European. And they was giving their story like it was nothing. And what had happened is the meeting was for those children who have attempted suicide. That's for all of those who had attempted suicide. All of these people. But these people was explaining to me, my son's situation at 15 does not match the situation of all of them that's in the room. So that's why they were saying this is not the type of meeting you all need to be embedded in. Because see, your son, he just did something. But our children been doing this since they was little. And I'm like, where did they get drinking and drugs at 4 and 5 and 6 and 3? And what are y'all talking about? But they tell you they saw signs in their children at that age, when my son didn't experience none of that. But I'm going to tell you the beauty of who Yah is when Yah allowed me to know what was about to happen. He gave me the full warning. He gave me 2 weeks of suffering the warning in which he had implanted in me that shall come to pass. And then he came down, and then he allowed everything to take place. Okay. But let me explain to you where I say to you all, a lot of people don't understand that there are a lot of people who are dealing with suicide. If you could just step back a little and really invest time in your father, your father's fathers, your father's fathers, 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 your father's brothers, your father's brother, your father's uncles. If you take a little time and invest in that, and then you go on this side and you go into your mother, then you do the study on your mother's fathers, brothers, uncles, and go on. Just enough time to find out, okay, what is really causing your child to have suicide and tendencies or actions. A lot of things is from the father lineage, and it ain't going nowhere. And me myself, I'm saying that to you all in a way of saying that, thinking how Yah said and said, the mystery is over, is given to his servant, the prophets. I think about that and I said, but Father, you mean these people taking this book and not even know that there's a mystery that's greater than this book itself? Because he's the word. And the mystery rests in the word and not in the book. You see, and this is why they don't understand, because they didn't come into the book with the understanding. Tarry. Let me wait. Wait for the Ruach to come to be your teacher. Instead, they studied this book, they mastered it. Some got their degrees and they took off to teach the whole world. And that's what they're teaching today, the world. They have no light, they have no spirit and truth. They have no Holy Spirit in them, the true teacher. And this is why they continue to teach, because they have been successfully able to win the people over based on their understanding, their wisdom, and their knowledge from this book. But this didn't come by. He said, this thing don't come by your wisdom. It don't come by your knowledge. It don't come by your understanding. But one thing that's caught up with their wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is their personal opinion, their feelings, and their emotions. Those things won't let nothing connected to light come in. Oh, for what? I ain't even let no light come in to teach, reveal nothing to me. I've been doing it for 30, 20, 15, 10. I've been on this devil platform for 20 years, and I've been okay. I'm winning the people. And they connect subscribers and likes to victory. They connect it to the favor of Yah. And they have forgotten. He said the narrow gate is the only thing to righteous that leads to life. See, they forgotten that because they didn't know the mystery of the narrow gate. So what happens when the son went out and he didn't go out, but when he attempted suicide, I say he committed suicide, because I did through the Ruach, the breathing and pumping, something I have no idea. But I did it with him because of the Ruach in me, leading and guiding me. It was talking to me the whole time. My son was just as dead can be. Always, I looked at his toes. I remember him big old. I pulled him, cut the rope, and I slid him in his bed, and I looked at him, and I said, Raymond, lips were purple, toes were purple, because so that was for me a sign that he gone. Now I need you to breathe. I said, I was talking to the Father. No, I can't do it. I cannot do it. I don't know how. He said, just breathe, Deborah. Breathe, and then pump 3 times. Breathe into his mouth and his nose, and then pump 3 times. Breathe, Deborah, into his mouth. I think it was the mouth. I believe it was. Or was it? Yeah, it was the mouth. And pump 3 times. And I always remember that breathing and then pump 3 times. And all of a sudden, I start to hear my son's. It sounded like he was gargling off of blood. That's what it sounded like. Oh, it was like something thick. And then I ran and knocked on the door and told my husband my son had committed suicide. And I ran back to my son, and he was just as still again. He wasn't, that sound wasn't there. And then the Spirit says, let's do it again. Breathe and pump. I did it again as the Spirit led me. But let me tell you the key to that. We're talking about suicide. Yah is real about visiting the Father's children, 3 to 4 generations. That means there's no end. Okay. And yes, it's a mystery. Is it worth people understanding it today? No, they're not going to get it. It's such an awesome mystery that it's not something that they're going to pick up and really get. They're not going to. So let me explain to you what happened to my son. First and foremost, I began to tell you all about his birth. His birth was that he was 9 pounds. I had no idea that his mother, my son's father, mother, had large babies. So when my son come up in 9 pounds, that was his father's lineage had big baby. I mean, his babies were big. Okay. Later on, his father explained to me his mother had big babies because the doctors was saying at Children's Hospital that I should have had a C-section because this is my first child and I was too small. And I ain't gonna lie about it. I'm gonna tell you something. Everywhere I go, people laughed at me. Cars stop. When I do my walk, people stop and be looking. It didn't look right, y'all. Because I was a very thin person, but my belly didn't look normal. Because I was big. And at that time, the doctors over at the Children's Hospital said he should have gave me a C-section because the child was already large and he knew that. But instead, he was upset he had to leave his family to come down to deliver my son. And I think that's what he did. He took advantage. He took him being upset to bring forth my son during the time he thought he was in for the night. So, but what happened is I learned that his father family have big babies. So that's why my son was large. You see, I learned also the mindset of my son, his intelligence. I learned that his father in school was a straight A student, you see, and that he was real smart. I do know he was a speed reader, a person that can probably read a book less than a few minutes, a few hours, or whatever, depends on how many pages. He was a person that knows how to pronounce words, know all definition. This is the person that my son's dad is. Even though he sold drugs, okay, he also had to have been using drugs as well. He had to have been using drugs. And what women don't understand, and men don't want to understand, everything you take into your body, men, hear me. It's in that blood cell of that child, that seed. It's in the seed. See, what they did is, even though the King James Bible says, I will visit the children of the father, 3 and 4 generation, no one has the respect nor the honor to see what Yah is saying. He's talking about he's going to visit them through the bloodline, and through the bloodline it's going to bring the ways of the father and who the father is down that bloodline to the children, whether it's male or female. You see why I don't settle for men and what they're doing. When I say settle, I don't settle for them not owning the responsibility of who and what they were created for. So what happened? I learned so much, and as time go on, I thank the Father for being a spoon feeder, because he's fed me by spoon feeding me everything he wanted me to know to where I can tell somebody today. And that's why I speak bold. I step into what I have to say. I say what I say, and I mean what I say. And it's not to say something to get someone in the world to take heed or to agree or to understand. It's only in the spirit. In the same way that Yeshua went up the mountain, I'm going to show you how things that's coming down that bloodline is not for you in the flesh. It's for he to understand all things in the spirit of how it got to where it is in the flesh and in the spirit. But when we take away the creation and how it says it deal with us in the flesh and in the spirit, then we take away all the things that was, and now we stuck on stupid trying to figure out A to B. But we can go into a hospital and hear them ask you. You can go and fill out an application. You can go and do everything with paperwork that has to ask you questions. And the first thing it asks you, the health of your mother and your father. Why? Because they know already. You are not you. You come down your bloodline. And what happens that I am totally disappointed is I always felt that a man is to tell his son his history, is to lay it out, to share with him. I don't now. Him and his father, him and my oldest son and his father, we get along perfect. But I had to cut the rope a couple of months ago because I wanted him to explain to his son his life. These men are not going to explain to their sons their life. That shows you that giver gave of you mine, I'm yours. They're not going to express it to their own blood sons so that they may know. It ain't so much as about a father in a house, because you can be a father in a house and a deadbeat on top of it. It's them being the father is when he share with the sons his life, his testimony, his experience. So the son be able can take out something when he leave his mother and father. But what has happened, the father has not shared with the sons. That's what he was saying. Train them up in the way that they should go. If you didn't know the righteous way and you have a baby, Yah was expecting you to show him, to show her by sitting down and talking to him. But what they did, none of them wanted to share. Even the men that in these women household today, I don't care if they've been in there 40, 50, 60 years. If you could only know the darkness that you never knew, because they refuse to bring light to the darkness of their lives. So what happened? I learned as time went on that my son's intelligence, his smartness came from his dad. Straight A, speed reader. I can pronounce something wrong. He'll correct me and show me other words you can use in place of it, honey. He's just that sharp. He got that from his own bloodline father. He got the art from his father. He got it from me too, because I was good with art. But he got the blood, and I don't know if my father was good with art. I don't know. But it could have been somebody in his family, my dad's family, that gave me the ability. See, we ain't coming here like we what is strapped. No, you ain't strapped with nothing. Only thing you strapped with is that father's ways and your father's ways. That's it. You ain't got nothing else outside of that. I know it. The world had it built up the way it's real pretty. They have no idea. So what happens? So my oldest son's ways was being revealed as the ways of his father. Okay? My son has his father's walk. He has his father's swag. He has his father's look. You see? and all the ways of his father. But guess what else he kept? This is what y'all didn't understand when he said, I will visit the sin of iniquity. I said the sin of the father upon the child. See, that's what y'all didn't understand. And I sit back and I said, but Father, how could you have swung that in the old? How could you have swung it in the new? And when I say swung it, this is an instructions and direction book that Yah has allowed these things to be in it. He even allowed them to smear it. You see? But how could you have allowed that? But yet, when you come to teach it, you bring the light that is always exists there for them to even see who's who and what's what. Why this kid has this disease, why this kid has these ways. It'll cause the women to know that you got your husband, child, and he hasn't been here to take care of him, feed him, or see him at all since he was born. But you look at the child, you'll see the child has the ways of his father. And you know that the time you've been with him, that's who your child. Let me explain to you. Or if you can't see it of your father, look at your sons of your father, your dad, the woman's father. What did I tell you? Ain't nobody on my son, Jonah's father's side, that's Harry. No one on his father's side that have the feet the way that his feet matches my daddy. His hairy body matches my daddy. You see, Yah knows how he set it up because we reject the ways of Yah. That's on us. He don't care. People don't even understand where they're at today. And they think he's over here in the corner hooping and hollering because they chose not to pay any attention to the light. Yah don't care. So what happens? When he was born, I watches his ways, and when he committed suicide, I must say, and it taught me that it was all that was invested in him that brought him to that level. That's what brought him to that level. The sin, the iniquity of his father that was resting in him brought him to the level of suicide. And this is why things are missing and people don't understand it. This is why Judah, whole tribe, have no idea the way and why Judah is like they are. But then I said, but Father, you said it. It's plainly seen for the flesh to see. You said it. It's plainly heard where the flesh can hear. It's right there. How many times have they used the fact that because of your forefathers, because of your forefathers, no good thing came out of the forefathers, y'all. Why ain't nobody figured that out? Because y'all don't want you to figure it out. You are not entitled to the mystery itself. See, that's another thing people don't understand. The mystery in Revelation chapter 10, that is, Yah mystery is over and it's given to the servant, his prophets. It's given to the servants, the prophets, to bring forth it, but it's not for you. Even when Yeshua went on the mountaintop of suicide, it wasn't for you. You see? But when you see where the mystery can't be for everybody, it's only for those that Yah has assigned it over to, because the world goes in a total different highway than the highway to Yah. And they are so content with it going in the wrong direction. Okay? So when I realized that my son, first they said when he wasn't gonna last, he lasted when he was a baby. Then when he was committed suicide, they said he wasn't gonna last, and he went past that. Because see, they can say what they want, but what Yah say to me is what counts. I don't go hooping and hollering and begging and like I went to the chapel when he was born. They said he got 3 days. I say, Father, I take those days, I apply them to you, I give them back to you. I said it straight. This is bold as I'm saying it to y'all. I said it to y'all like that. I said, I give him back to you. And except you give him back to me healthy and normal. Keep. I give him back to you. Crying. I was in the chapel crying. Got up, went up to my thing. Doctors from children came again telling me you need to go to head OB on this doctor and sue this hospital. I could have been taken care of the rest of my life. And that's not the only time I could have been taken care of. I could have been taken care of I could have been taken care of the rest of my life. But I just thank Yah for his awesome spirit that rests in me. I live by that. I survive by that spirit alone. That's the food for the spirit. It's not the food for the flesh. It's the one that causes one to walk upright before the light. So what happened? Now my son, he commits suicide. And from that moment, Yah stepped me into understanding who my son always was. And from that level, I realized that Yah was now teaching me the lineage of the Father. Because at that time, they told us we shouldn't come back to the meeting because this son is not like their son. This son did this at the age of 15. No, something wrong with that. He should have been having issues with drugs, drinking, running out the house, sneaking out, all these things that they said. Well, that wasn't my son. But I give all glory again and praise to the Most High Yah for all that he was and all that he is and all that he's going to be. I just say all by himself. And for that reason, Yah began to teach me my son. He began to tell me how my son is going to have this, and he began to tell me and share with me what was going on with my son all his life that I had no idea. And how he parked it is through his father. The father taught me through his father who my son was. I began to look at all the good part of his father. I said, truly, it's in my son. Then the Yah began to teach me the iniquity and the dark side that's also the ways of his father that's in your son. And when he broke that thing out, I was like, he nailed it, y'all. He nailed it. Yah is about what he said. He said what he's about. We can run around here like a cockeyed, I don't know what, thinking that we know something and our eyes crossed up. Your eyes crossed up mean you confused. You can't even see straight, let alone hear. Okay? So what he led me to understand was the ways of my son is in his father. Okay? So as time went on, I began to realize that my son's sleeping habits, my son's thought patterns, my son's intelligence, my son's art ability, my son's swag, his walk, the way he functioned is totally like his father, y'all. His bloodline father. Guess what was battling my son to suicide, y'all? They don't get it, Father. And I know it ain't them. They don't get it. What was battling my son into suicide was depression. Why? Because his father took on depression, had it in him all his life. My son inherited the ways of his father. And by the grace and the mercy of Yah, he suffered the mother to fully understand what the son was going through. And the beauty of it, He took me out of the natural and brought me into the spirit realm of his word. I'm about what I say. I say what I'm about. The sun gonna shine on you and everybody else. When it rains on you and everybody else. Just as grace and mercy, it wasn't just for you, Deborah. It was for everybody else. So know that when I say I'm coming after the children, generations, due to the Father, I meant that. Do the world believe it? 100% no. Do the Father believe it? 101.15 billion no. But it's the answer to all things. So as I look and I see, and what I'm sharing with you is the strength, the good things about his Father, but showing you the iniquity, the sin of his Father, which was who the Father was. Him being not just a drug seller, but a drug user didn't help the son. It added on to the son. That's why my son always had a addiction to sweet, always wanting sweets. Even I brought him up with limited sugar. I did fruit, y'all. I did fruit, even if it had to go to some of it was like fruit roll-ups, but it had to be 100% fruit roll-up, stuff like that. It was not the sugar, but it was something in him for sugar that he just had, just always wanting sugar, sweet. You see, that wasn't on my side because I was the opposite. You see, so what I did is I weighed on him. And I said, I went on to the Father. I'm talking about suicide. And I said, Father, I see, but how am I to live? How am I to live with this? How am I to live with it? To where the depression that the father came up in as a young boy always until today, his father. Guess what? His father's on all kind of anti-depression medicine. And they took that and gave it to him, talking about, I don't know if y'all know, people who are on drugs get disability 100%. He gets disability. You see? And he on all these substances because they said when he was on drugs, this is what caused his depression. But him and I are so close to the point we talk about everything that's got to do with him, his son, and I. And we talked, and he already explained to me a whole lot of things. He said, Deborah, I never told you. Staying up all night, I had always had a problem with staying up all night. I was a nervous wreck when I was a teenager. When I was young, I couldn't sleep. And that was one of the number one things they asked me when they found out my son had committed suicide. They said, you didn't see the signs for us, him not able to sleep. And I'm like, how do I supposed to know what the signs is for suicide? I had no idea he was in my house. All those signs, the Ruach taught me and told me they were in his father. Last year, his father sat down and he told me everything about him. You know why he told me, you guys? His father shared everything with me because I shared everything with him, what y'all had told me. And he said, all of it is 100. My son has all of my ways because of what I did in my life, who I was. Now, you know why I left him alone? It's time for you to share it with him. Share with him who you are, who you was, and what you went through in life and how he don't need to experience any longer the struggle of anything now that he knows that it come from your father. I too went through it all. So I said to him, I need you to explain it to him. Wouldn't do it. And I said at about 99.9. No, I'm gonna say 100. No, I ain't gonna say 100. I got to leave some people, some men that we're out. So I said 99.9 won't tell the truth. That the ways of these children you see, males and females, are strictly out of their bloodline of that male. That's the whole purpose of creating man before woman, because he invested the seeds in man. That's why. Okay. So, and the seeds went serpent seed, a spiritual seed. And right now, my son, and I'm going to go a little deeper, y'all. I'm going to drop you off right here. I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Even after my son was born, 2 years later, me and his dad were still together. We had another child. That was Philip. That came into the world. Philip came into the world. Philip died 3 months later. Philip passed away 3 months earlier. 3 months after birth. Philip would have been 50, not 50. Philip would have been 42 years old today. Philip would have been 42. He passed at 3 months. I learned so much about men and women and how Yah ordered things from the kingdom to come to the earth. When I look back over my life and I realize, wait a minute, you showed me that at the age, a very young age. Why? It's because I wanted it to be so drilled in you. When you pull up in this year 2024, you won't be taken by nothing nobody out here talking about, because you already know the truth. Heavens has orchestrated the beginning to the end. And when he say he will visit the iniquity of the fathers, he mean that. Generations. And if it don't stop, it continues. It won't end. It's no end. Let me explain. So what happened? The father had this depression and this suicide mindset. He told me. But guess when he told me, y'all? Last year, when I told him that I knew that the ways of my son come from him, even to the point of suicide. Then he shared with me, as a young child, he was totally depressed. He had always had suicide attempts. See how his baby ended up not even knowing. I just thank the Most High Yah for them putting us out the meeting, telling us we weren't matching theirs, because it allowed me to try to go where? Before the bosom of the Father, to get the answers. See, Yah said that your answer is not going to be at this meeting, Deborah. It's going to be in me. Come on here. Come on here. Come on up out of there. They told y'all don't belong there. Come on where you need to belong. And that's how he schooled me through all of that, by showing me and telling me it is the lineage. All these things that you wasn't spotting about your son, you seen it there, but you didn't know what it was. That's because it came from somewhere. And that's how the Spirit began to teach me how powerful all things come from the seed of the man, even if it has to come from your father. That's where it's coming from. And that's why they don't understand why Yah hold them accountable for much that they have washed their hands from, every and anything Yah hold them accountable for. So it's coming down the spirit, y'all. It's coming down the spirit, not the spirit. It's coming down the bloodline of the males. And it's the powerful thing is, my son got both sides. It just one defeated the other. just like his father. His depression and his suicide attempts and everything that was on that end, it overpowered anything in his life and in his body. And that's what happened to my son. Same thing. Okay. Suicide, people want you to tell you it's from bullying or somebody bothering you. Somebody said this to you. Somebody keep picking with you. That's the world trying to justify, clarify, and identify what is going on. Suicide plays a great role in the lineage I would visit. 3 to 4 generations. I'm coming. See, we think that we can do stuff wrong down here on the earth. We think that our money can save us, or our money gonna keep us. Our money gonna put us in good standards. Our money is gonna make us have our own separate understanding, our own separate opinion, our own separate wisdom, our own separate knowledge. You do have that because that's locked into what you think you got. So you lock yourself over in that category. But that's a category for the serpent seed, which means he didn't know. But Yah is saying more than he is saying more today than anything been said. The mystery is being shared. The light is being brightened. Now listen to this. Now, when you ask, I was married to my children's father for 34 years. Not one time did he sit down with his 4 sons and explain to them his life. So what is they missing? They're not going to come up out of their household right. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. They're not getting up out of here right. They're going to get up out of here. They're going to be just like their father. They're going to be identical to their fathers and his lineage. He refused to explain to them his life, his family, things he went through in life, things he felt like in life, how he done things in life. You were in my household with these children 34 years. And right today, not now one of them can tell you nothing about you. You can come and go, and all they going to take to heart is that you was in the household. They ain't going to tell you what you said, what you done, how you help, how you do this. All that they going to know that he stayed in the household. And they are content with that because they like him till he is. You see, want nothing better outside of what he is. It's in them. That's in them. I'm trying to say to you all, this sister can tell somebody something. But I can't tell the darkness nothing. Only the light. So even the light can understand suicide is connected still to the bloodline that man and women, male and female, reject understanding that he bringing everything down that bloodline to the point where he brought Judah and told him, I'm going to disperse you to different countries. And it has all to do with the forefathers. And they would stand on every platform and portray it's the woman's fault. That's why I tell you this can't be the word. Because the word, which is the Holy Spirit, it comes to hit this out of the ballpark. How long you gonna be gone?
Probably until 1:30.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Okay then. Okay, that's okay. That's fine. Okay. So I say unto you that don't get bent up and bent down in what you think you know. But don't forget, I'm speaking to the light. I'm not speaking to the darkness. Now I'm going to take you to where the Messiah is at and how Yah suffered the Messiah. I don't know why all these people hit me. I'm looking at my phone here, but I'm finna take you to the suicide attempt of Satan toward the Messiah and how the flesh in today is the only thing that brings you into suicide. The spirit, it is not the spirit that's willing to follow what the flesh, that shows you the enemy of your flesh toward your spirit, to where your flesh will take you out of here. And your spirit has no idea that your flesh is setting it up. Because the flesh is an enemy to your spirit. So it'll set it up. Last minute, the spirit is at this point where, hey, you finna do something. You finna do something. Oh my, no, you finna, you know what I'm saying? It ain't that the spirit don't know, but the spirit is so willing to do the things that are right. When it see the flesh setting it up for suicide, that's what make the depression. That's what make depression so heavy on you. It's because you got a battle of the spirit of who you are and the flesh. That's what make it so heavy. That's what make it so heavy for them, to where they say, I can't take it, you know. Why? Because the battle of the spirit of who I am and the battle of the flesh is going against each other. Let me end it. I got to end it to keep both away. And this is what makes them go on and complete it to the utmost. The flesh take you there. So when I got to Matthew's chapter 1 and Matthew's chapter 4 and verse 1, I thought about some things, and the Spirit was dealing with me on this message. I've been on here an hour and 36 minutes, and I didn't get to my verses, but I'm a winging it in, okay? But I wanted to take you to real life experience, testimony. It's not so much as the iniquity, which is the sin of the father. The children also inherit the good part that caused them to be victorious in the flesh as well as their fathers. But most of them will find out that there's nothing that the father gave them to be victorious in, because it's been going from father to father to father to father to fathers, and they're not catching up with, wait a minute, hold up. Something going on here, because they care not. Going back to what the other day message was, unconcerned. So when I get to Matthew's chapter 4 and verse 1, it says, then was Yeshua led up. It almost telling you something is leading Yeshua up. Okay, I want you to look at that. I'm doing that because I see already the deepness of how you're not going to get it. But I'm going to try to press on. As long as Father can give me the strength to press on, I'm going to do so. Matthew chapter 4 and verse 1. Then was Yeshua led up. Who leading him up? Here. Who's leading him up? In the mental state of mind. Of the spirit. You see that spirit? Look at that spirit, you guys. Look very careful at that spirit. What does that spirit look like? It looks like a lowercase spirit. Spirit into the wilderness. It almost leaded one to believe that Yeshua's spirit led him up into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. Now, what do I see? I see the power. I don't see what you all see. I see the power. I see where it says he was led up. Led. Something is leading him up of the spirit. Then was Yeshua led up of the spirit. It's almost like something is leading him up of the spirit. Now, when I see that spirit, I see a lowercase spirit. That leads me to understand this is either Yeshua's spirit. That's the only thing it could be, which is the flesh. But when I begin to see where it says into the wilderness to be tempted, then it's beyond the flesh. Because now something is powerful. It's leading him up into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. What I see is an assignment. When I see tempted, to be tempted, I see an assignment. Somewhere along the line, this is an assignment. Okay? When I see led up of his own spirit, come on now, of his own spirit, he's being led up of his own spirit to complete an assignment. Out of order, totally out of order. Let's go to Mark chapter 1 and verse 12. This is an example of how you must be in the spirit when you're reading this stuff. And people in the flesh, they'll read this book all day long. They'll get up in the morning, read it, they'll go to bed reading, and they don't have no understanding. They have no idea. They have nothing going on. Okay, let me get this here right quick. Let me get this here to make sure and this is going to be an eye-opening to you all. This here is about to open your eyes to something. Okay. No. Let's go to we're gonna go to Luke. And I'm gonna show you some things of where you have to be in the spirit to know exactly what's going on. Now, in Matthew chapter 4 and verse 1, I see. This is what I'm saying. I see. You cannot see what I see unless Yah see you himself in you. Okay. So you can't see what I see. Okay. But I'm speaking it to that one. It says, then was Yeshua led up, as if someone was drawing him up. And it says, of the spirit. Of the spirit. That right there is very powerful. It was leading him up of the spirit into the wilderness to do what? To be tempted of the devil. That sounds like an assignment. And I don't think it's an assignment of the Son of Man. I don't think this is an assignment of the son of the serpent, nor the serpent seed, the devil. This is not an assignment of Yeshua. This is not an assignment of the devil. No, this looks like this is an assignment that has been orchestrated. Let's go there. When you get to Luke chapter 4, verse 1, this is why you got to be very careful thinking that when you read this book, it is the word. You can read many books and it have many words. But to get the final word of all words is the Ruach in you. He is the I am. He can do that. He can give you the final word of any words that is written. Now listen to what happens in Luke chapter 4 and verse 1. And Yeshua being, watch this here, and Yeshua being full of the Holy Ghost, watch this here, returned from Jordan. Now listen here. He was returned from Jordan. So somewhere he had, is showing you he was full of the Holy Spirit. And he returned from Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness. Check that, y'all. You see that? You see in two different spirits. One is the lowercase spirit that has led him into the wilderness. And the other one is saying, it is in Luke's example is there's the uppercase spirit, which is Yah himself, into the wilderness. Which one do you think is correct? Me, myself, I know that Matthew chapter 4 and verse 1, when it said led up, and then you see in Luke chapter 4 and verse 1, it said was led by. I said it is the Spirit of Yah. Only one could orchestrate an assignment like that is Yah himself. See, that's where we have to understand where things ain't about us. We need to, not, you ain't gonna say you need to. Yah will allow you to see that it never been about you. It's about the Spirit and what it is doing. And it's not your spirit doing it alone. It is my spirit. Now, as I see in Matthew chapter 1 and Matthew chapter 4 and verse 1, it has the lowercase spirit led Yeshua in the wilderness. And verse in Luke example was the uppercase spirit into the wilderness. Now, who's leading who into the wilderness? Only way you're going to get the answers through the Ruach that's in you. That's in you. Because right there's two things being said. A lowercase spirit and the uppercase. I will go with the uppercase. Because of what? This is an assignment. Why you say that, Deborah? The assignment is to be tempted of the devil. Who can do that outside of the uppercase spirit? Only the Spirit of Yah can do that. Only the Spirit of Yah can assign such mission. Let's go. In verse 2, it says, and when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterwards hungered, meaning hungry. And it means that the temptation of the flesh being hungry was the fact that afterwards it was hungry. It felt and suffered hunger. It was its desire for it had eager desires. Okay, that's why. Who had that? That was the flesh. So now it's showing you the one that led Yeshua was the Spirit of Yah assignment. And it was showing you it wasn't the Spirit of Yah that was being tempted. It was the flesh of Yeshua. So when you see this, you have to see that Verse 2, and when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights. What's the fast for? The flesh, you guys. You can't fast for the spirit. You can only fast. The fast is for the flesh, so that what? The flesh doesn't get what it desires, which is food. So you know that verse 2, it was saying the fast for 40 days and 40 nights wasn't for the spirit, you guys. It was for the flesh. Okay. And after it had finished, it was hungry because the flesh eager and desired food. The flesh. So what is happening here? It is actually showing you that Yeshua going to the mountaintop toward the wilderness, let's say to the wilderness, was for the flesh to be tempted, not the spirit. Mm-hmm. See, and that's the only thing Satan can tempt. He can't tempt the spirit man. He can only tempt the flesh. The whole idea was trying to get us, you and I, to understand this is a flesh thing, y'all. Why? Because Deborah, the assignment that Yeshua went on was for you. It was a flesh thing. His assignment was for you. That's why the flesh, he wanted to show you the fasting 40 days and 40 nights, I think it was to shut the flesh down for what it desired. And when he did that, after the 40 days and the 40 nights, oh, he was ready. The flesh didn't get what it wanted. So now it got to go to the mountaintop to be what? Tempted by the devil. That was assignment from the Most High Yah. Okay. Then as you see where it says, let's drop down to verse 6. Drop down to verse 6. And it says, and said, Matthew chapter 4 and verse 6, and said unto him, if thou be the Son of Yah. What was he speaking of? The Spirit. Woo! Because what? Satan had already knew that before I go after his flesh, I got to make sure the Son of Yah ain't present in his flesh. And he wasn't in his flesh. That's why the whole idea of the fasting was to show you this is a flesh thing. Why? Because you and I are going to go to the mountaintop. And it's not going to be measured by you being a prophet or you being this and you being that and you all this and you all. No. It's measured. It's not measured by that. That's why he assigned Yeshua to go to the mountaintop in the flesh, to teach us in the flesh. You too is subject to go to that mountaintop or to that place in life of suicide. So when I see this, I see it and I break it down to where I'm showing you how the power of suicide and how do it come in? Do the depression. And how do the depression come in? It can come down the bloodline and you'll miss it. And that's what most people miss. Oh, they were bullying him and he ended his life. Or they did this and he ended his life. Or she ended her life. Oh, she didn't feel like going on. Go back to you and your husband and y'all bloodline and you'll see what was going on all the time. Adults today commit suicide, not even understanding. And they said during this pandemic, they said a lot of our tribe men committed suicide. Because their fathers were never there to explain to them who they were. Now I can also add that too. Train them up in the way that they should go. And if you tell them the way of you, then they will know. Righteous and who you are, and they will know. You don't tell your children who your mother is. You tell your children who you are, because your children is a product of you. 99.9% of men on the face of the earth have no idea what I just said. And guess what, y'all? It too is a key to the kingdom. And this is what's missing on the earth. And it's not something that's going to be all of a sudden come up and show and be plain view. No, it's not. This is the way they have lived the world in which it is today. And they will, and if they can own up, then Yah will shine light on them. You got it. But they ain't gonna own up to the fact that the way the world is has nothing to do with the way a woman has orchestrated. It's the way that was always founded in that man. When they see a lot of ways in the Bible, they think it, oh, see, he said a man, but they don't understand why. Because when you stand before him, that's going to be the full judgment of what I just said to you all. I just gave you, I didn't give you the key. I opened the door and let you kind of step in if you wanted to, but you won't do it. Because it is still for his name's sake, will you be able to come to that level of what I just said. So when you're running around thinking that adults and children are committing suicide because the Father wants you to know. Go back to the lineage of the father or the lineage of the mother's father, and you will find the answer to all things. So as Yeshua going up to this mountaintop, Satan is not concerned about nothing but that flesh. That's the same thing the Father said. He said, I will visit the iniquity, which is the sin of the fathers, 3 to 4 generations. Y'all ain't concerned about nothing but that flesh and how the generation will repeat what that flesh of that father was, is, and going to be. That's what in him in everything he have said. That sealed it. That's a way that they would never find. They would never find it, because me sitting here explaining to you here, and let me go and take you there. So here in verse 6, Matthew chapter 4 verse 6, and he said unto him, if thou be the son of Yah. But do they know who the son of Yah is? 100% no. I've been on this devil platform 6 years, and the people I even minister to still would know. The son of Yah is Yah himself. That's why Yah is in there. And then when he say the son of man, that's Yeshua, who born of a woman. The son of man and the son of Yah come down to do the Father's assignment, his mission. The son of Yah is his word, his power, and his spirit that came from the Father throne and given to the son of man to have to go to complete this journey. So Satan on the mountaintop wanting to know, which one do I have up here? Because if it's the son of Yah, I ain't finna mess with him. So what did he do? Let me see. Let me tempt him. Let me tempt him. Who was he tempting? The flesh. So once he realized he was tempting the flesh, he said, wait a minute, I'm still not sure. Listen to what he says in verse 6. And said unto him, if thou be the son of Yah, if thou be the son of Yah, why isn't it if thou be Yeshua? If thou be the son of man? Because Satan knew that the power is only in the son of Yah. Praise Almighty Yah. He knew that if I first got to check and see which one is on this mountain. Is it the son of Yah or is it the son of man? Let me tempt. So how did he tempt? Only the power. Woo-wee! He was coming after the power. Not tempting the power, but making sure the power wasn't up there with Yeshua. So he can tempt Yeshua. So what did he do? He go after the flesh to see if the power is with him. This is what he says. Verse 6. And said unto him, if thou be the son of Yah, cast thyself down. That means do a miracle and sign. See what I'm saying? It's just like it's identical to what John the Baptist was saying, and when he was locked up, he sent his disciples to go back to Yeshua and said, "Are you the one, or should we look for another?" You know why? Because he wanted to know, "Are you the one? I know you the son of man. I was hoping you was the son of Yah. Let me know, are you the one or should we look for another?" And when the disciples had to go and see and hear that that it was all power being shown, that's what they took back to John. John said, time to decrease. It was the power that convinced John that he was the one, because he was displaying Yah's power. Praise the mighty God. So Satan on the mountaintop tempting Yeshua, wanting to make sure that, wait a minute, I can tempt that flesh, but I think you got that power with you. Let me see. So first thing he says, this is something he says. He said, verse 6, Matthew chapter 4, verse 6, and said unto him, if thou be the son of Yah, cast thyself down. If thou be the son of Yah, cast thyself down. Because he know, if you're the son of Yah, you cast yourself down, you good. You good. This is what he said. For it is written, he shall give you angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. See, he wanted that suicide, y'all. He was up in his mountain of his mind. Why? Because don't forget, Yeshua fast. That was only for the flesh, baby. You can't fast for the spirit. You can only fast for the flesh. And that's why he was hungry. The spirit wasn't hungry. Spirit wasn't fasting. That was his flesh. So Satan went on the mountaintop of the mind of Yeshua. And when he went there, he wanted to see and check and see had the power detached itself to the Son, which was the Son of Man, seeing if the Son of Yah has been detached to the Son of Man. And when he got up there and the Son of Man continued to tell him, but it's written, then he's tell him in verse 6, wait a minute, go on, commit suicide, for it is written, he will send angels charge concerning thee, in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Kill yourself, jump down. He'll get you senior angels. But Yeshua was going to the mountaintop for Sister Deborah. Why? Because Sister Deborah is in the flesh, even though she's led by the Spirit of Yah in her. She's in the flesh. And that we too will be tempted by Satan in the flesh to commit suicide or think about suicide or have a desire in a way that, okay, let's end it all. Even me, when I sit and say to the Father, why don't you just end it all? They ain't gonna get no better. It ain't gonna. I'm actually asking for a suicide attempt, in a sense. So the mind says stuff like that. But the Spirit is now in us to say, no, greater is me in you than you yourself. So suicide is for the flesh. But when you have the Ruach in you, suicide can't have its way. Praise the mighty Yah. Oh, you're going to be tempted. That's the whole ideal he wanted us to understand with Yeshua, the Son of Man. He was tempted. But the tempter, all he wanted to know is about the Son of Yah. See, he wasn't concerned about the Son of Man. He knew that I can't tempt the Son of Yah. So let me check and see if this is just the Son of Man or is this the Son of Yah. That's why he was tempting him. He was tempting the flesh. This is why the Father prepared an assignment for Yeshua to complete for you and I that are walking in the Spirit, that we too in the flesh might be tempted. But no, you don't live on bread alone, which is the part of your flesh. You live by Spirit, which is me greater in you. So see how individual that is of the Spirit can't go out there and commit suicide. Yeshua showed us the way. See, a lot of times we get in this book and we just clamp ourselves to what it's saying. And, oh, I understand. I got it. But no, you so far from it. Because y'all always want us to get it from the spiritual side first and then understand it in the flesh. You can't understand it in the flesh and get it spiritual later. No, y'all want you to understand it in the spirit so it can tame that flesh with the understanding. You see? So going back, if suicide was about the flesh, even when Yeshua's suicide, it was about the flesh. His temptation was about the flesh. That's why he was trying to check to see if the spirit end was participating. When he kept saying, if you be the Son, he kept wanting to add the spiritual part to check to see if the spiritual part up there, because if the spirit ain't up there with him, then I can do this. But Yah taught us a great message by making Yeshua, the Son of Man, detach himself totally to the spirit, to the flesh end by fasting and praying, showing us that he went up there alone. And that's how he defeated Satan, with the idea to let him know, you can tempt me in the flesh, but I don't live by the flesh, for it is written that I'm here for the Spirit. You see? So when you talk about suicide, the world has lied to you all. Y'all didn't want Satan to tempt, because it said it was assignment from Yah. The Spirit of Yah led him up there to be tempted. Sound like an assignment to me. He had to fast 40 days and 40 nights. Then what happened? This is what's powerful about that. In verse 11, this is why I try to tell you all, be careful. Be careful in the way you taking this book. Without the Ruach, you cannot see a pen needle or light. Okay? Because when you get to Matthew chapter 4 and verse 11, it says, then the devil leaveth him, and behold, look, y'all, look, who are you telling to behold? Sister Deborah and those that's in the light. It said, behold, angels came and ministered to him. To who? Yeshua. Angels came to minister to us, Yeshua. What was all that about? Now, if that was the Son of Yah, then the angels didn't need to minister to him, because he had Yah in him. Woo-wee. He needed that for the mission. He needed that temptation in the wilderness for the mission. To who? To check that flesh. See, that's something we don't want to do. We have not done, and we're not going to. And just this message alone ain't gonna get even, you ain't gonna even desire to check. And it's okay. It's over. It's finished. Don't put so much heart and so much time into it. Because Sister Deborah done said stuff 6 years. It's over. Okay? So when you get to Matthew chapter 4 and verse 11, then the devil leaveth him. And behold, that means behold, y'all, check, angels coming. Not one angel, but angels came and ministered to him, Deborah. To who? The Son of Man, because he needed it. So if you think that these people with suicide that don't have the word, the bread of the spirit, this is what make them be successful, y'all, in suicidal. And a lot of the suicidals coming from the bloodline is the iniquity of the fathers, 3 to 4 generation. Things coming down our bloodline that we reject the fact that it's coming from the direction of the father. And y'all sitting here saying, look at them. Because the things of the spirit come directly from the spiritual father. So he wants you to know the things of the flesh come directly from the flesh father. So what's your problem? You're lost with the cause and without. That's the problem. See the two? The things of the spirit comes from the father in the kingdom. The things of the flesh comes from the father. Likewise. But as long as the world chases the female, they'll never know what the accountability that y'all was holding men to from the beginning. Because they can always bag everything onto the woman, as they have never seen their liability that rests in Genesis chapter 2. They don't see their liability. They see that escape way. Because now woman on the scene, and they did. The Roman Catholic nailed that thing in Genesis 2 and 3. Not in 3. They nailed it. They made it about the woman to where man would never find his way. Just like soul. They put soul in there. So you will never know that this thing is about flesh and spirit. And that's why people always put soul. And when you put soul, it's just like you said that Yeshua is Jesus. The God that they serve, the Jesus that they serve that's white and long hair, that's exactly how soul is. Soul been put there so you won't be able to see the two, flesh and spirit. So when all these suicide attempts, and they're saying the number is so great amongst men, especially a lot of them was amongst Judith. Judith men, a lot of our Judith men have committed suicide. Now, I want to tell you, in the world, the majority is, if you add all of us together, it's the European men. Suicide is the number one. Okay? When you add just Judah, then it's the men. And it's because it's that same visiting the iniquity of the father. Because they never knew who their father was. What went down with you, Dad? What happened with you, Pops? Oh, I never seen you a day in my life. This is my first time. But tell me who you are, so I know who I am. Woo-wee! Wouldn't you want to know who your spirit being is? And you'll go to the Father to know that, which is in the kingdom. Likewise, in the flesh, to know who you are, you got to go to your natural father. And because they would rather make everything a lie about who men are, just to live the lie out. But when the throne pull up in judgment, they done missed it because they ain't gonna even understand the talents and what was it all about. Because you're learning things on the flesh end and not beholding to understand it in the spirit. Once the spirit begin to teach you, it's going to show you why the flesh was there, to show you the difference between the flesh and the spirit. So that's what happened for the assignment. Yeshua wanted Satan to understand that I'm teaching them right here and right now that when you tamper with this here and take us to the highest mountain and the pedestal, you can take us wherever you want. But there are those who are living on spirit and truth and not on the flesh. You see, that was the spirit of Yah wanting us to get the message. So what did I do? I went to Mark chapter 1. And when I got to Mark chapter 1, listen to this. In Mark chapter 1, watch this, y'all. Mark chapter 1 and verse 12 and 13. When I get to Mark chapter 1, because I want to hear a little bit about what Mark has to say about this. In chapter 12, Mark chapter 1 and verse 12, and he said, and immediately the spirit driven him into the wilderness. Look what spirit that is, y'all. The spirit of Yah driven him to the wilderness. I told y'all it was an assignment for Yeshua, the Son of Man. It was an assignment from the Most High Yah on the Son of Man when he came down here. That's why it was written in the kingdom that his mission required him to go to that experience. By who? The Spirit. Listen to what Mark said in Mark chapter 1 and verse 12. Mark said the same thing it says in Luke chapter 1, 4 and 1. Mark says the same thing to Luke chapter 1 and 2. It says the same thing that he was driven. Listen to what it says, verse 12. Mark chapter 1 and verse 2. Immediately the Spirit, immediately, because he was coming from one a movement to another, immediately the Spirit driven him into the wilderness. That was the right hand of the Father sending the Son of Man through the wilderness. Now watch this here. And he was there in the wilderness 40 days, tempted of Satan, and was with wild beasts, and angels minister to him. They had to come to him afterwards, y'all. After that experience in the flesh with Satan, y'all sent him some help to talk to him, because he had to go through that, but he went through it in the flesh. Because let me tell y'all the key, where this sister know what she's talking about. Let me tell you the key. Watch this here. And the angels minister unto him. Angels don't minister to the Father. Who they think they are? You can't rule like that. I don't need you to minister to me. Angels cannot minister to the Spirit of Yah. You didn't know that, did you? So he had to be ministered to the flesh of the Son of Man. Now they can do that. That shows you that the Spirit of Yah was not in the Son of Man on that mountain. It driven him there and left him there. I give him all glory and honor because I have experienced that. Where Yah want to show you something and get you something embedded in something that you should know in your spiritual walk, he would take you there, bam, drop you off, pick you up later. And that's what he did. And he told the angel, hey, y'all get down there. He's hungry. He just went through an ordeal in the flesh, Son of Man. In the flesh, Son of Man did. In the flesh. Angels, get down there. Y'all help him out a little bit. Minister to him. Mark said the same thing Luke said. What is this here in Matthew's chapter 4 and verse 1? It didn't tell you the Spirit of Yah. It told you the Spirit. That means it was, to me, it was saying a different spirit, like the Spirit of Yeshua. See how error that is? Because you can get mixed up in just that one word being taken away. Now, if John pulled up and said the same thing, but we just going to say out of 3, 2 of Mark and Luke was on one accord. Matthew was saying something different. You can't change up not one thing and think people gonna get it. No, it's showing you the power of those who have the ability to get in this word and move it, swing it, and smear it. They have it because Yah has given them the ability to do it. And the okay. Because Yah said, let me tell y'all why. Let me tell you what he said to me. Because minds ain't gonna be lost. Go on, tell them what y'all wanna. You want to get on these platforms, teach these people, teach them what you wanna. Pull out all the books lost and found, and get, don't forget Enoch. Pull out the King James 16. Give them whatever they want. Give it to them. Because mine's gonna have me in them. That's all they're gonna need. So right there, I saw a lot of difference. I saw a whole lot of difference in there. And I see something in Luke, and something else is showing me here. And it showed it to me 3 or 4 times. So I better go on and get it and see what Yah is trying to say out of it. In that same Luke chapter 4, look what Luke is saying in chapter 4. And Yeshua was full of the Holy Ghost and returned to Jordan. See, it was a place where he had come. He was full of the Holy Spirit, and he returned from Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness. Okay, so you see how the Spirit of the Holy Spirit led him. See, flesh ain't gonna lead you into the wilderness in the sense to be tempted. Only the Spirit of Yah can do that. And that's what he did. And I love what it says in verse 2. We in Luke chapter 4 and verse 2. Being 40 days tempted of Satan, the devil, and in those days he did not eat nothing. And when they were in, he afterward was hungry, meaning desire, eager to eat. That was that flesh. You think that spirit was eager and hungry? No, that was that flesh letting you know the whole ideal of him being tempted by the devil was for you and I to understand it on both ends, spirit and truth, and on the flesh end. And that's why people can't fast and get a breakthrough, because they are nowhere in the spirit realm. See, you can't fast and expect you're going to get a result in the spirit. Oh, no, you ain't. You got to understand the fast in the spirit so you know how to take the fast in the flesh. How about that? Even Yeshua had a legion of angels. I ain't going to say that many. They had a host of angels Yah sent down to minister to his flesh. After he was tempted. Why? You didn't see the Holy Spirit down there ministering to him. And if the Holy Spirit was with Yeshua, why did he need the angels to come down to minister to him? Because he was only in the flesh when he went up to the mount to be tempted. You see? So when I get to Luke chapter 4, it's something he's saying about verse 9. Let me read it. And he brought him to Jerusalem and set him on a pedestal of a temple and said unto him, if thou be the Son of Yah, cast thyself down from hence. There it go. That's just a part of trying to show you how he was trying to check the Son of Man to find out if the Son of Yah is with you. So, verse 14, and the reason why that's very powerful to really go over it and see it, it's so powerful because it's actually showing you how Yah assigned an example for us. So we can teach it to other people who have might be going through depression, stress, suicidal, or don't want to live, don't want to go further. Like I wanted to do those pillows. I really wanted to do them because, let me tell y'all why. The pillows of suicide, that's what they were going to be called. They're going to be called the pillows of suicide. I'm going to show y'all how I know that the power of who the Father is in me. I wanted to fast and pray over those pillows that Yahweh allowed his power to rest therein. Praise the mighty Yahweh. So what I did, I say, I know that I know if I do this, it will be successful. I knew, because that's the one I serve. He never, ever, 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 ever left me or forsaken me. So I understand when he says, I will never leave you nor forsaken me, or nor the righteous forsaken, nor the begging bread. Begging bread is not the natural bread, it's the spiritual bread. They don't get it, Father. They ain't got you yet. Oh, my thing. Oh, where's my? I heard it. So when he said, and never found begging bread, he ain't talking about that bread of the flesh. He talking about that bread of the spirit. They ain't gonna be begging nobody for no bread. That's me all over again, y'all. That's why I say I don't listen to these people. I ain't begging for your bread. You ain't got you the bread of the flesh. Why would I be begging for your bread? He just ain't gonna be found begging for bread. Because that bread is the bread that man don't just live on, the bread of the flesh, but the bread of the spirit. Begging bread. That's the type of bread he's talking about. Minds ain't gonna be begging for righteous belief, faith, truth, hope, the word, the fruits of the spirit, the works of the spirit. Minds ain't gonna be begging for that, because it's gonna be already in them. What they begging for? What they begging for? You see how the mindset of the flesh can be totally out on the left field, and the righteous of Yah and his ways and his is way on the right, and the ones who got that mindset, they way on the left with a hardened heart, thinking they getting somewhere. So the verse 14, he says, this is in Luke chapter 4 and verse 14, and this is the last verse. And Yeshua returned in the power of the Spirit. Wait a minute, Father. Now, wait a minute. Hold up. You know what? I try to wonder something. All that stuff is really powerful, y'all. That y'all would allow you to speak with the power that's already invested in spirit and truth. Because now listen to this here. Just listen to this, you guys. Just listen. Just listen. Luke chapter 4 and verse 14. Listen to this. And Yeshua returned. Wait a minute. Where is he returning to? In the power of the Spirit. You see that? Listen to what it said. And Yeshua returned into the power of the Spirit into Galilee. And there went out a fame of him through all the region round about. Where did he return? What did he return back to? The power of the Spirit. I told y'all he went on the mountain in the flesh. And it's letting you know when he was tempted, when he came down from that tempted and the angels ministered to him, it says, and Yeshua returned in the power of the Spirit into Galilee. And there went out a fame. You see the fame on him now? Of him throughout all the region round about. I believe that was one also assignment for Yah that he must go through. I think that was one of them as well. Just like that baptism where John was talking about, wait a minute, I shouldn't be baptizing you. You should be baptizing me. 99.15 billion don't even know what he mean by that. What John was saying is that I know that he was before me because I remember him before me. You see, that's what John was confused as well, y'all. John was confused like many today who feel that they got truth. They think they got the power power. They think they got spirit and truth. They think they got light. They think they got a spiritual backpack, and you ain't got nothing. John was very confused because he remember the baptism. You remember when he saw him at a distance coming? He said, the Lamb that come to save the world. And he was talking about his shoes is not, he's not worthy to a lace. You see? And even when it came down to the baptism, wait a minute, why am I baptizing? You know why John was confused? Because John know like Sister Deborah know, except the difference from John and Sister Deborah to know is John put John one place and put Deborah another place. And the day that John wasn't put, John didn't come down in the day of the end day, but he sent Sister Deborah down in the end day to tell the mystery of yesterday and today. He said, blessed is he that understands the word and the parables. That means the parables is for those who are lost in the flesh, and the parable and the word is for those who are in the spirit. I can tell somebody something. And I'm feeling good being all by myself. My son comes over here and he stays over here, and he already know. Wait a minute, something going on in his house. Never. I'm saying over there in the big house, y'all all stay there. Everybody got all that space in that room. Why would that kid be over here? Why would that kid be over here? Why would he want to be over here with me? Oh, dried up mama. That kid trying to draw from that spiritual energy. That's why. That kid is trying to draw from the spiritual energy. That's what he's trying to do. He don't see no chaos. He don't see no nothing. Nice, relax. Oh no. Not here. Ain't no chaos here. Y'all know what he did when he put me here and where he has me. Because according for him to have me to be able to come on here and say something to you all, he has to put me in the place where he needs me, where he can continue to mold, shape, and give me what he needs to give me so the world won't be detached, trying to pull up on it. No, I put you in a place. Is it sad? No, I ain't gonna say it's sad. Not sad. Is it lonely? Is it a space where you hear chaos and neighborhood shooting and violence? And no. And I go into that area too. Because I ain't got no sense. When you ain't got no sense, you go anywhere. Praise the mighty Yah. But when you got that sense in the spirit, you ain't caught up in it. Now, right here, there's a very powerful message. Luke chapter 4 and verse 14. It says, and Yeshua returned in the power of the Spirit. So why is it he returned in something? Because he didn't have it in him when he was tempted. And that's why he said, it is written. Meaning my mission up even on the mountaintop, you tempted me, Yah had already had it written. Suicide, you guys, is something that Yah has the answer to it all. And I just give him praise and glory today and yesterday and all this time he have taught me, but he had to walk me in what he taught me. Woo, Father Yah. Woo, Father Yah. A lot of times y'all look at me all cockeyed and don't even understand, baby. My testimony is for you. Just as Yeshua's testimony of him being tempted. It was for you. It ain't for me. It is for you. My long suffering and endurance is for you. It ain't for me. I can tell somebody something. And you're never too old or too young to learn something. Because what you learn on this end, it'll be with you until eternal. Because I'm not giving you the food for your flesh on this earth. But I will give you food for the spirit to enlighten the things that has not had light to it, and to bring the mystery that Yah has given to his servant in this end days. That's that knowledge, that spiritual knowledge that's going to be increased. And it ain't going to work. When he said the spiritual knowledge in the end days shall be increased, it ain't going to end. It's going to go all the way, even to Mount Zion. All of it. It's going to go all the way, y'all. It ain't ending. Just like those 4 horses, they ain't coming back. It's going all the way. Going all the way. Non-stop. I see something's going on over here in Euphrates River. It's dried up already, and the battle is on already. And you see them talking about the battle that's taking place, Lebanon, and Israel, and whoever else. Clown if you want. All of them. You can clown. Get your tails on out there. Because you know what? The judgment of the Most High Yah is on the earth. And going back, if you didn't have situations where you feel you can't live anymore, you can't take it, it's just too much, it's too much of this, don't give up. Because for Satan to tempt you, he first has to check and see if you be the son of Yah. You be the son of Yah. You be the son of Yah. He's going to check you in the, he's going to be tempting you in the flesh, trying to make you doubt what is in you in the spirit. That's what he's good for. And that's not with just suicide. That's simply for everything. And I'm going to flash to y'all what flashed to me when I said just that, how he will tempt you here. He don't have to take you to the old Rocky Mountain, put you up there. He can take you right here, less than a second, and blow your mind. He tempt you here. Here. And that's the whole idea that he wanted Yeshua to know, be led, is so that we can understand it was here that we were tempted in the flesh. But when we know who we are in the spirit, then we can say the same thing that Yeshua said to him. It is written. But what I like about what he said, it is written. So what did that mean? Taking it back to the altar, to the throne of the Most High Yah. He didn't stand there and try to battle the temptation with Satan at the ground level. He took him back to the kingdom. Praise the mighty Yah. Each time he tempted him, he took him where? Back to the kingdom, where the throne is at, where it is written in Yah. We're trying to fight battles, even our addiction, our lust, our drug habit, our hate. Oh, Father Yah, Yah is telling me right now, we got a level of hate that is off the chain within us. It is a level of hate that's off the chain. That hate will not allow nobody. So if you got that type of hate in you, guess what? You won't see the kingdom. That hate is created for the earth. And Satan sees on the earth for eternal. You got to have something in you greater than you yourself that can defeat every temptation of Satan puts here. I learned that whenever someone believes it's about them, it's because they are 100% the serpent seed. That's why he connected the heart and heart to the serpent seed. The heart and heart is connected to the serpent seed. It's where people are at today. And it's okay. Don't get me wrong. It's okay for you to be where you at. It's not something y'all going to work out in you to change you. It's finished. It's over. You see, because for so long, I've been on here 6 years. And if something I've said that have not caused you to even check you, that's because you are not the spiritual seed. You are the serpent seed. You can't be checked. Before a person can understand where Sister Deborah is going, they first have to know where they're coming from. Most people don't know where they're coming from because it's a me, mine, and we is their family. They focus only on them. And they won't leave that zone. Because they didn't understand the body of Hamashiach. It's not your zone, it's your zone. Nothing you have belongs to you. It belongs to the, if you're about the serpent seed, that everything you have belongs to you. But if you're about the spiritual seed, guess what? You will know already. You would know it already. And you wouldn't have this mindset that you've had all your life. And now you're up in age and you still with that mentality. It shows that you are a serpent seed 100. So the Father says, they know, Deborah. They know. Even when they look in the mirror. That looking in the mirror means your spiritual being. They can't see nothing but me, mine. That's it. And we. The we can't be. It's no such thing as we. Do you know that this sister was in her bedroom around about what, 3 this morning, and I was humming. And what was that hum? I remember. Give me you. Give me you. Y'all heard that song. Everything else can wait. That's how I see things, y'all. Give me you. I hope it's not too late. Now, when you hear that song, it says, give me you. Everything else can wait. I love that part right there. But then when it goes to this, give me you. I hope it's not too late. With me, ain't no hope to that being late for me. I can't say that. I need you, y'all. I'm on my knees. What is it? I can't remember all the song, but that's what I was just humming over and over. All of a sudden, my son come dashing onto my bed. Oh, mama, Jonah, what's wrong with you? Mama, I heard you singing. And he laid there. I'm going to pray that what it is that my son needs, it's something he needs from me, y'all. And I don't know what it is. So I must go back to the altar and ask the Father, what must I give him? I had made a vow to their father. Like I said, y'all, he's my right hand. He's always there with me. He sticks with me. And say, for instance, right now, if something was to happen to me, a tragedy or anything happened, that'll be the man that cleans me up, bathes me, makes sure that I'm good and clean, I'm taken care of, I'm eating, that man would be there. If I have to cry, he gonna be the one wipe my tear, okay? If I had to have bandage or anything taken care of, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be there. But you know what I said to him? And I'm asking the Father, is it another way I could say it? And I don't see where it's at that. I told him, I said, if anything ever happened to our children, I would never speak to you again. I would never speak to you again. I'm going to be live at 7 p.m. Central Time, and I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that because that is something that I say to him, and I think I probably said it 15 times. If anything ever happened to our children, one of them, I would never, ever speak to you ever again. It don't have to do anything with him. It don't have to have anything to do with him. And we're going to discuss that at 7 p.m. Central Time. I'm coming live at 7 p.m. Central Time. I might make it 8, but I will be live. I want to talk about that because That is so heavy on me. And it could be something that y'all might have to discipline me in, but he has not. And I've said it, in the last 3 years, I've said it to him. And don't forget, I just told you he's my right hand. Okay. He's there, and he's helped me with everything. But anything have to where mine and one of my children have to sleep, I won't have no connection to this man. None whatsoever. Because like I said to you all, ain't nobody, I'm gonna go and tell it like it is. Outside of the Most High Yah himself. Not your mama, not your daddy, not your sister, not your brother, not your wife, not your husband, not your children. Nobody on this earth can tell you what I can tell you. Now one of you come to this live all cockeyed, and you don't even understand what you're hearing out of your ear. Most of it is going in and out. You're not capturing what is spirit and truth that he's put, and you take it and snatch it, bam, drop it in your book bag, your spiritual backpack. Because a lot of it is potent, what I'm about to say. So I say to you, and I'm going to get off of here. If I told him about 15 times, probably more than that, but if anything ever happened to our children, I would never say anything to him again. And I want to discuss that this evening at 7 or 8 p.m. Central Time, me saying that, because y'all never have released that from me. He never brought me into conviction when I say that. This is what has happened. I try to explain to you how even what I be saying, I can be what you call I'm gonna be honest with y'all, which I have been all this time. I can be the perfect counselor here today in this day and time for anybody. Because you would think that I would take one side over the other, or take the female side over the male, or male side over the female, or you would think that I would be like that. Not what's invested in me. Not what is invested in me that speaks through me. Even some of the things I'm saying to y'all while I'm talking to y'all, these last 2 and 46 minutes, a lot of y'all didn't even understand. Y'all was teaching me even in the time I'm speaking to you all. He's talking to me at the same time. Telling me this. Don't forget this, Deborah. Don't you remember this? That's how I'm able to keep going and telling y'all things without even pulling everything out of the book. Because he still speaks to me as I'm talking. Keep allowing me to add this, when I should have been off, but yeah, he keeps saying. So reason why I said it regarding this man that I was married to for 34 years, being my best friend, my right hand. But if anything happened to our children, I would never speak to him again. The reason why I feel that way is because of what the Spirit of the Most High has taught me all these years. He's taught me, and he's given me a lot to go on. It is also in biblical telling you about a man that has many children and leave here, where none respect, leave here, that he leave here with all these children, but yet he live and leave with no respect. And I'm gonna cover that verse. I'm gonna get it. I think it's a couple of chapter verses in there. I'm gonna pull it up later on this evening. But what I speak, the reason why I speak that to him in times, like I said, I've spoken to him about 15 times, because y'all listen to what I'm saying. When I met this man, he had no children. He had pretty much what you call nothing. Didn't have a driver's license. He had a job. Matter of fact, he had 2 full-time jobs. He had no place to stay. He stayed with his sister. And this was his lifestyle, you guys. So I met him in the same location and worked with him for about 3 years. Probably a little over 3 years. And there were times I would see him and people would be laughing with him. He'd be laughing. And I asked him, have you ever stopped clowning? I sure did. I said, have you ever thought to stop clowning? And at that time, him and I didn't deal with each other no more, because I told him, At this time, have you ever thought about stop clowning? And this is the thing. I look at it as Yah says, sir, I give you one of my best. I gave you my best, one of my best. I'm saying this is how I see it. This one that I have given you, I've given you everything a man can desire, want, need. You see, you didn't have children, she gave you 4. You didn't raise them, but she see to them that they went to school, went to college. She made sure that everything about your children were taken care of, even to today. And when I say everything, not their bills and no, that's not my issue. But making sure as a mother, covering the part. See, you don't just be a mother when they leave and go to their wives or to leave and the husband get them. You're a mother as long as you're here. A man is a father as long as he's here. But you tell me which one stick longer? The mother to the end. The father will leave from birth until. You know how many children that was born in the Philippines and in Germany that our men left there and never saw the child and never went back, knowing that they. Now, a lot of people say, "Oh, they didn't know this." And no, let me tell you something, y'all. When them seeds go out of you, there are dreams and visions that will come to you to inform you that you got something missing regarding you. A lot of them didn't understand. That's what's missing. You had seeds dropped off in Germany, in Philippines, in the military, that you were just sprouting them all over the place and you left them. But when you stand before glory, he going to check you on it. Oh, no, the seeds ain't going to be there, but you will. He knows how and what he invested in that man's womb. And which one was assigned to come out. See, that's what a lot of people don't know. Y'all got his T's crossed and his I's dotted, no matter if your eyes cockeyed or not. He got his taken care of on all ends. So I'm looking at this man. He didn't have his license. I taught him how to drive. I made sure that everything was good with him for him to get his license. I taught him so he can get his GED. Everything. That's why I said at the beginning, y'all gave him one of his best, which was me. Right now, this man has 4 grown children, humbled. Not sons being in jail, not sons out here on drugs, not sons stealing and killing, but working men, which they took that from their father. They believe in working, except for this baby boy. He took his after my husband's brothers because they wouldn't work. Baby boy is working here. Like in the next month, he goes to Colorado ski resorts. He works there for 4 or 5 months during the ski season, the winter and ski season. He makes pretty good money there, but that's where he go. He won't settle. He won't keep still. That's how my husband brother is identical to that. Now he can sit and tell me, boy, Jonah, just like Al. And I'm like saying, but tell Jonah that. But my husband will not sit down and hold a conversation with his kids. He never have, never did. He never told them right from wrong. He never disciplined them, not one time. He never correct them, not one time. He never showed them how to do anything, not one time. See, don't let nobody tell you that you can't be a deadbeat in a household. Yes, you can. You see, you can't tell me nothing. See, people don't understand. I can say this about this man because this man is what y'all gave me. That's one thing. Second of all, he gave him the best. Y'all assigned him the best. You see? So therefore, this man had it from A to Z. From A to Z. I wasn't a perfect person. This man didn't give me flowers. He didn't give me a birthday card or a card saying, I appreciate you, for raising my children. Make sure that his kids had everything you would think a wealthy family had. And guess what? Y'all know we were poor. But yet, there's something y'all had rich invested in us. And he made sure that they could not see that which was poor, but that something they had rich. And that's the part that they see in me and cannot understand. How could this have been? You see? Because the Father carried the seeds. The seeds that the Father put in the Father. He didn't say, Deborah, when I'm putting 2 spiritual seeds and 2 Satan seeds, or I'm putting 3 spiritual seeds and 1 Satan seed, or I'm putting 3 Satan seeds and 1 spiritual seed. But by him teaching me from here, he lets me know the seeds were already implanted. So don't ever think that you did anything wrong. They had the best as he had the best. But what bothers me, that makes me say that I would never speak to him, because I look at it is, can your children be raised up, come and go, and you never told them who you were, your errors in life, your success in life, who your father was, who your brothers were, who you were as your family, and how was your mother? They never heard it from him. When I did my study, I gave them what I learned. Do they believe it? No. Because the one y'all trust to give them the information they can run with the rest of their lives and be able to measure their lives somewhat over on is him. See, this is why I say the men it ain't meant as I see it, as life keep living, keep going. I see y'all orchestrated it that way, that they never know the mystery, because the mystery rests right in Genesis 1. Then Genesis 2 bounce on it, and then that's when they can get to Genesis 3 and see the lie. They can see the lie in 2, but they ain't gonna see no lie in 1. You see? So I look at it as, okay, Father, you gave me 4 babies. You trusted me to bring them up. Number 1 thing, the fear of Yah. I brought them up in the word. You see? I wasn't about a lot of chaos. No one fight, argue, and fuss in this household outside of me. You heard any sound, it was coming from me. Anybody arguing, it's coming from me. Now, how do it look that I'm the only one arguing, and I'm the only one loud, or I'm the only one having something to say by myself? It don't look good. But that's the way y'all orchestrated it. They didn't hear that fussing, even out of me. They didn't hear that arguing. They didn't hear no fighting. Just imagine having 6 children in the household, no fighting, no arguing. Just imagine that. And the devil is alive. He think he's going to step in today, because right now they get along beautiful. But you look at it and you see every last one of his children are humbled like he is. But y'all did not create anyone to come here and not be about what they were created to be. They were about what they were created to be. And it's 2 things, either the serpent seed or the spiritual seed. And even if it's the spiritual seed, it tells the truth. It lets their children know truth. It lets the children know right from wrong. Good from evil. It disciplines the children. It corrects the children. It can be humble with the children and easy, but it don't let off righteousness. And when a man has not spent anything with his child he never seen, he never spent time with him, or he left home, y'all ain't holding that woman. He said, Deborah, the men still don't understand the seeds came from them. So when you left your seeds behind. But when you stand before my throne, I'm going to check. All right, Sister Deborah, hope you got something out of it. Understand suicide goes two ways. You can experience suicide in the flesh as Yeshua did, but he was the spiritual seed. And you can experience suicide in the flesh again and not be the spiritual seed. And those are the people you see that commit suicide and don't make it back, or commit suicide over and over. See, that's something else I learned when I was at that one-time meeting. That one-time meeting with those 44 parents, I learned that suicide in that flesh is a continual thing. It's not a one-time thing. Because Satan ain't going to let you out. Depression is so powerful because it leads you into suicide. Why? Because depression comes after the flesh. And after it has conquered the flesh, it can't get victory until it has conquered the spirit. That's when the doctors want to give you medication to compress the thoughts of the mind. It don't erase depression, y'all. You can get that through your father's lineage. You can get it through your mother's lineage if it's coming from her father's side. And depression is coming from the bloodline. And 99.15 billion has no idea, because the world going to tell you what the world wants you to know. But when you come to the knowledge of where it come from and what it can lead to, then you can stand on any mountain with Satan and tell him it is written. See, Yeshua wasn't telling him, get out of my face, shut up, talk to me. He let him know, come on, go with me, bro. The throne has already written it. How about that? How about that? See, when Satan realized that, wait a minute, everything going to be referred back to that throne by from that one that has written it, he gets somewhere and sit down. Now it's time for him to sit down. Because he ain't got nothing. He know he ain't got nothing invested. But there's two suicides. And when you be tempted in the spirit, in the flesh, know that your spirit got you. But there's a suicide in the flesh upon the flesh. You ain't handle it. Depression, a lot of people find happiness and claiming they are depressed. David was distressed. All of us be distressed. It's okay to claim distress. But when you claim depressed, you can claim Satan team. When you claim you are depressed and you claim it, you accept it, you embrace it, you get your medication, guess what? Satan has truly won you over. 100. You are fully shown and revealed as the serpent seed. Why? Because stress comes for the flesh. Depressed comes for the flesh and the spirit. When you are depressed and it has conquered your spirit, you're out of here. There's no hope for you. Because you allowed your depression that came through your flesh to get victory over your spirit. It's over. It's no way out. That's why people can get on their medication and stop one day and go kill up themselves and others. Because the medication is a part of downing the flesh mindset. So it won't be feeling a certain way. The moment that medication ain't, that flesh attack the spirit again. And the spirit said, no, I can't defeat it. I can't handle it. And you're out of here. So I, Sister Deborah, hope you got something out of it. I know I wasn't planning on being on here that long, but I say, I didn't cover the fact that I wouldn't, because the man has not spoken to his children. He don't communicate with his children. He don't, they never learned right and wrong. They never learned anything from him or out of him. I, Sister Deborah, says, I can tell somebody something. Shalom and shalom.